Hey, so picture this. I'm just a guy who wanted a quiet life, a little corner of the world to call my own, right? Moved out to Willow Creek, this small lakeside community in upstate New York, chasing silence after 30 years in the Navy, fixing engines, staring at endless horizons of water, always moving, always loud. I'm Tom Reed, retired marine engineer, and all I wanted was a simple dock on Lake Serenity, a place to sit with my coffee, watch the herons glide, and let the world slow down, the kind of peace you earn after a life of noise. But trouble? It's got a way of finding you, even when you're minding your own business. My little dock, nothing fancy, just cedar planks and a bench I built myself became the center of a storm I never saw coming. It started with a woman named Brenda Walsh, the new HOA president who rolled into our quiet neighborhood like a hurricane in heels, ready to rewrite the rules to fit her vision of perfect. I've been living here for years, my dock approved back in 2012, paper signed, filed, tucked away in a drawer because the Navy taught me one thing. Always keep your proof. The lake was my sanctuary, a mirror of calm where I'd row out in my old aluminum boat, the kind that creaks like an old friend, and just breathe. But Brenda? She saw that lake, my deed as her personal playground, and my dock? Apparently, it was in her way. It started with a letter, one of those crisp, official-looking things with the Willow Creek HOA logo, saying my dock might not comply with new guidelines. New guidelines? I checked, nothing had changed since I built it. I called, left voicemails, sent emails, got nothing but silence. Then a second letter showed up, bolder, saying my dock was under review and I couldn't use it. That's when I felt it, not just annoyance, but this cold, creeping anger. This wasn't a mistake. This was personal. I walked the lake's edge that night, past Brenda's shiny new lakefront house, all glass and sharp angles, with a security camera that blinked like it was judging me. My dock had an orange ribbon tied to it, like a crime scene, while every other dock along the shore sat untouched. I ran into my neighbor, Sam, a retired mechanic who always had a beer and a story. "You get a letter about your dock?" I asked. He laughed dry, like he'd seen this movie before. "Nope, but Brenda's been sniffing around, talking about shared access at the last meeting." Shared access. That phrase stuck in my throat like a fishbone. A couple days later, Brenda showed up, no call, no warning, just her clicking heels on my gravel path. I was sanding down an old chair on my deck when she called out, "Mr. Reed, just here to check on a few things." She had a clipboard, sunglasses perched on her head like she was starring in her own reality show. "Mind if I take a look at your dock?" she said, already walking toward it. I wiped my hands slow and followed. She stood there, scribbling like she was grading my life. "This dock's too long," she said, not looking at me. "Exceeds the 5-foot rule." I kept my voice even. That rule came after I built it. It's grandfathered in. I got the papers. She smirked, barely glancing up. "Well, this lake's common property, Tom. You know that." I stepped closer, calm but firm. "Not according to my deed. The shoreline's mine, Brenda, and the county easement backs it up. Section 14C, riparian rights. You want to see the survey?" Her smile tightened, like she wasn't used to pushback. "I'm sure we can resolve this," she said, but her tone screamed control. Then she stepped onto my dock, uninvited, her heels clacking, and snapped a photo. "For records," she muttered, like I was just a line item on her to-do list. That night, I found a new notice taped to my door, no envelope, just a sheet of paper declaring my dock unsafe and prohibited until further inspection. Unsafe. I'd built that thing to survive storms. This wasn't about safety. This was about power. I called my old Navy buddy, Mike, who now did shoreline work. "Stake your boundaries," he said. "Photograph everything." She's playing dirty. So I did mark the property line, set up a cheap motion camera, and waited. Then it got worse. I came home one day to find my dock roped off, yellow nylon, and a sign. Closed for safety inspection. No inspection had happened. No notice, no vote, nothing. And then my boat was gone. My little rowboat, the one I'd fished with for years, vanished. The rope was cut clean, drag marks in the dirt leading to tire tracks. I stood there, fists clenched, the lake so still it mocked me. This wasn't just a fight anymore. This was war. I filed a police report, called the county to confirm my permits all valid, no violations. I got Mike to draft a cease and desist, and I started digging into the HOA bylaws. That's when I found it. A rule saying no enforcement could happen on pre-existing structures without a county inspector's report. Brenda had none. She was bluffing, and I was done playing nice. I didn't just want to fight back. I wanted to protect what was mine. So I got to work, pulling out old Navy blueprints from a project in Peru, designs for submerged barriers to protect shorelines. Legal, subtle, effective. I sketched a half-moon of rocks, granite, and river stone just beyond my dock, within my legal water boundary. Nothing to sink a boat, just enough to make someone regret speeding through my property. I called in a favor from a quarry guy, hired 2 local kids to help, and by dusk, the rocks were in place, marked with buoys for liability, invisible unless you knew where to look. The neighborhood was buzzing by then. Brenda was hosting a big HOA party, a lakefront appreciation cruise, on her fancy yacht, all chrome and ego. I didn't go. I sat on my bench, watching her boat glide out, Brenda waving like a queen, neighbors clapping like they had to. I knew her route. She'd cut through my inlet to show off, just like she'd done when she chained my dock. I didn't say a word. I just waited. At 5:07 p.m., it happened. A crack echoed across the lake, sharp as a whip. Her boat lurched, the bow slamming into my rock barrier. Brenda stumbled, her champagne glass shattering, gold liquid splattering her perfect dress. The crowd gasped, phones came out, filming. The boat scraped again, metal screaming against stone. Brenda's eyes found mine across the water. I just stood there, arms crossed, letting the lake speak for me. The party collapsed. By 6:15, her yacht was back at her dock, dented listings slightly. The neighbors whispered, some walked away, and a video hit the community Facebook page. "Is this how we treat our lake?" it asked. By noon, it had 300 views. Brenda went quiet, but not for long. A new letter came, accusing me of endangering the community with an unpermitted obstruction. Except I had the permit, filed with the county, GPS stamped, legal as daylight. The sheriff showed up, Deputy Carter, calm and no nonsense. "Heard you build a hazard," he said, sitting on my deck. I handed him the permit. Shoreline protection, not a hazard. County approved. He nodded, flipping through my papers. "She says you did it to hurt her." I laughed, bitter. "I did it because she wouldn't stop." He left, shaking his head at her dented yacht. Then the media came Channel 6, tipped off by my neighbor, Ellen. I walked them to the dock, showed them the chain, the permit, the bylaws Brenda broke. The story aired that night. HOA president's power grab ends in lake crash chaos. They played the clip of Brenda stumbling, slow motion, and quoted Ellen, "Tom's not the problem. He's the fix." Brenda didn't back down. She sued, claiming I'd endangered her, defamed her, built illegally. My lawyer, Mike, laughed. Defamation of leadership? That's not even a thing. We countersued trespass, theft, emotional distress. My boat, found under a tarp at the HOA clubhouse, serial number confirmed. Brenda's case started crumbling. 2 board members flipped, admitting she'd acted alone. No vote, no process. Emails leaked. He doesn't deserve that dock. It's the best spot, and he's wasting it. The courtroom was small, just folding chairs and a tired county seal. Brenda sat there, stiff, her lawyer droning about public safety. Mike laid it out: permits, bylaws, emails, photos of my dock before and after a chain. The board secretary, Rachel, testified. Brenda's orders, her lies, her vendetta. The judge, a sharp-eyed woman named Hargrove, didn't blink. Ms. Walsh, anything to say? Brenda froze, silent, her confidence gone. The ruling came fast. Claims dismissed. HOA to remove the chain, pay my costs, and apologize. The neighborhood changed after that. The chain vanished, my dock free again. Brenda's name was scrubbed from the HOA site, her house listed for sale. A new board took over, fair, quiet types who listened. Neighbors started a coalition, not to fight, but to watch, to keep the HOA honest. They asked me to help. Not lead, I didn't want power, just peace. One morning, I found a cedar sign by my bench, carved simple, reads rest. No one took credit, but it felt like the lake itself had spoken. A letter came later, handwritten, from Brenda. I thought control would keep me safe, she wrote. I was wrong. I hope you can forgive me. I tucked it away, not for her, but to remind myself what power does when it's unchecked. The lake's calm now, kids fishing, neighbors laughing, no one looking over their shoulder. My dock's not just mine anymore, it's where Ellen's book club meets, where teens sketch, where Sam's dog naps. I fought for it, not just for me, but for the right to sit still, to feel the water's pulse, to know your home's yours, no matter who tries to chain it. So what do you think? Was I right to fight back? Or should I have let it go? Ever had an HOA or someone try to take what's yours? Drop a comment, share your story. Let's talk about what it means to stand your ground.